Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Tuesday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. It's Tuesday, folks. You know what that means. That's our good friend, good old Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show. Will be joining us here in just a second. Second portion of the program today, we'll be joined by the former sideline reporter of the Florida Gators, now the head football coach at Belleview High School, Brady Ackerman. We'll see what's going on with Brady, get his thoughts on. He's a huge Phoenix Suns fan, so he's got to be very happy right now. But first, let's go ahead and get to the Titan MRI hotline, and we're joined by good old Buddy Martin. Morning, buddy. How are you?
Morning, Shane. How you doing? Tell Brady nobody watches the NBA anymore.
I agree.
Really?
I only watch it. I flip through the channel some, but actually, what's funny is majority of the series in the NBA playoffs right now, buddy, are all tied up at 2-2.
Oh, they really? I didn't even know that. I'm so out of it now.
Yeah, there's only one team that has advanced, and that is the Phoenix Suns.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say they're advanced to the Western Conference Finals, but all the other series are at 2-2. So, we got that going on. We got the NHL playoffs going on. Tampa Bay.
That I watch a little bit.
They're down 1-0 to the Islanders.
Mm-hmm.
They're a better team, but they make who knows what will happen there. But
and Shane, you got the best team in baseball right here, 100 miles from Ocala. They're great to watch. They're fun to watch. I found myself, we talked about it. You don't watch Major League Baseball, and I get it. But, man, I love that team. They're a consummate team. They got that young shortstop rookie from Durham from Florida State, Taylor Walls, who's a heck of a player. They're really fun to watch. So I'm watching Rays baseball. I'm sorry. I know nobody likes it but me, but I like it.
Well, I like it once it comes playoff time, and the Rays are doing what the Rays do every year, it seems like. They fly under the radar. Nobody talks about them. You could poll the average person, and I couldn't tell you one player on the Rays right now, buddy. I'll be honest with you.
Taylor Walls.
Because Evan Longoria doesn't play for them anymore, does he?
Hey, look, Mike Zunino's the catcher.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Zunino.
He's got about 11 home runs. He's playing terrific. And Kevin Cash is one of the smartest guys in baseball. I mean, it's a really good team to watch. Now, I get it. Baseball is baseball, and some people don't want to. But it's summertime. It's a summer game, man. Come on.
Yeah, I'll probably start watching a little bit here next month. I got a text on the Titan MRI text line. It's from our good friend Ryan. He says, well, Shane, the Irish did not go away quietly, but the second inning outburst by the Dogs proved to be the difference. The atmosphere at Duty Noble has to be top 10 for any sport, any level. Don't think I can go all Pat Dooley and buy a Mississippi State sweatshirt, but I will be pulling for them to get that first College World Series ring. Yeah, Mississippi State, this is their third straight trip to Omaha. They've been a total of 12 times. And, buddy, I'm telling you, on your bucket list, I know Buddy Martin has a bucket list when it comes to sports. You have got to go to Starkville, Mississippi for a baseball game.
I've been there, but not for
nothing
baseball.
like it.
Yeah.
Oh, you have?
Not for baseball, but I've been there.
Oh, there is nothing like it in the entire country.
I hear you, and I love that it's that way. It's like going to Lexington in basketball, that kind of thing. I get it. It's like going to Tuscaloosa in football, and it is a special environment. And I told you last night on my show, that I watched the game, part of it, pieces of it. I'm not going to say I watched it, and I saw the crowd, the atmosphere, and I know Shane was excited because he loves. Is it Duty Randolph? Is that what the DUD? Duty Randolph?
Duty Noble. I don't know. I don't know what Duty's last name is, or if that's.
It's the name of the stadium. Name of the stadium.
It's Duty Noble.
It's Duty Noble.
I don't know. It's probably two different people. I don't really know. They just call it the Dude.
I don't even. Somebody tell us who is that? I don't understand. I mean, of course, I guess they'll say I don't know Ben Hill Griffin either, so I don't know. So.
Exactly. The Mississippi State people have no idea who
wrote the check.
But buddy, there's 3 SEC teams headed to Omaha. Mm-hmm. As we said, Mississippi State, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt. Mm-hmm. I personally think They're going to be two SEC teams playing each other for the national championship.
Really?
I think Vanderbilt's going to run right through their bracket. Mississippi State and Tennessee and Texas are all on the same side, so that'll be difficult with Texas. But I still think the way Tennessee's playing, man, that they have a very good chance. But who do you think's going to?
Are you picking Tennessee? You're picking Tennessee.
I think they might. I'm going to say.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
gonna
picking them. You're picking
no.
them.
I think they're damn good. I know that, but I'm going to go Mississippi State versus Vanderbilt for your national title.
I'm going Tennessee.
Well,
that's the best team.
Crap.
Of course, I'm going Tennessee because I think they're the best looking team. I know everyone loves Vanderbilt. Their pitchers, the two stud pitchers they got, whatever. Tennessee's just a good ball club. They're really good. They play all facets. They hit the ball. They run the bases well. They play great D. They got decent pitching. I think they're really a good. They're kind of like to me, kind of like the Rays of college ball. They play good team ball.
They do. Refresh your vehicle and your brand with a vehicle wrap from Wrap Spot. June's your lucky month at Wrap Spot. Mention promo code Shane and receive 13% off your vehicle wrap. Buddy, I know you and Franz are writing a column on coaching.
Mm-hmm.
What's that all about?
Well, actually, it's Francis' column today, which is quite good. Got me thinking about this. Francis' column, thoughts today, by the way, go to GatorBaitMedia.com. He writes 5 times a week, and he has brought the best overview of anybody around because he knows a lot about it. But he wrote about today how Ron Zook became the coach and how Bob Stoops was basically going to be the guy. It said, I don't know if it's true, that Stoops was on the runway in Norman, and they told him to turn the plane around. Franz talked about sitting in a high school game in Daytona with Brent Venables and how Venables said, all I know is we were going to Gainesville one day, the next way we weren't. And that would be because, of course, that Urban Meyer was hired. But so I got to think about coaching and you being the son of a coach, being a coach yourself, a lot that we take for granted. Coaches are some of the best people I know, and you know that. I got to think about, well, what kind of knowledge could we share with people on coaching? And I'm going to ask you every now and then for a tip on how to get in it. What do you do? I got a friend whose son just started to coach. But I wanted to talk about that day when Zook was hired, which was a shocker to everybody. Like Ron Zook, he's a friend, but boy, I didn't see that coming because he struck out with his other candidates. Meaning Jeremy, and of course he wound up with his third choice, Ron Zook, and we know how this story. But how about coaches who never got hired at Florida, who almost were hired? Think about that for instance. For instance, we talked about Bobby Stoops. Steve Spurrier, we thought for 48 hours he's coming back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I talked to him on the phone. He was playing golf, and he was excited about it. The next day, they pulled the plug on it and said, no, we got Urban Meyer. I said Urban Meyer earlier. Urban Meyer was the guy who came when Steve was there. So Steve didn't get it. And the guy who was offered the job and they flew up to talk to him and offered to him was Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
What if they got Chip Kelly? And there are other famous coaches. Did you know Lou Holtz was once virtually hired here?
I did not know that. When was that?
Oh, well, that would be back in the 70s. Let's see, when was he at Arkansas and NC State, whatever, we're right in there. And the guy who told me the story was the late Jack Harshon, the sports editor of the Gainesville Sun, who said that he talked to Stoops to Holtz, and basically Holtz was in, and then he wasn't. And I'll give you a name away from the past that was really almost hired, but what wasn't, didn't get the job. Ara Parsegian was coming to Florida. So there's coaches that were almost here but weren't. But back to you, real quick on a tip if I can, and I'll let you have your show back. Getting into coaching. I mean, it's a natural for you. Your dad was a coach. You're a coach. What advice would you give to young people? I have a friend whose son just started coaching now at an entry level in high school. How does a guy get into coaching? What's the best way? And is there some kind of secret to it?
Well, it's all about relationships and who you know, really, buddy. I think depending on what level of coaching you want to get into, you usually have to start at the bottom anyway, whether you're just a volunteer, just love the game, want to learn, you just do whatever you can to get whoever the head coach is. Just say, hey, you don't have to pay me. I just want to learn football. I want to be a coach one day. And that's how, especially at the collegiate level, most coaches come right out of college. They don't play ball usually professionally. And so they become a graduate assistant or a student assistant and work their way up. I mean, Will Muschamp's a great example of that. Kirby Smart, all those guys were student and graduate assistants. Unfortunately, if you want to be a coach and you play a long time, it's held against you. I mean, think about it. When you come out of college, you're 22, 23 years old. You're not good enough, or whatever happens. You don't get that opportunity to play that sport professionally, and you want to be a coach. So what do? You go back to grad school and you start doing the whole GA deal. But if you play a long time, so I played 14 years. I call it retired, or when they get tired of having you in the league, that's when you retire. They don't want you anymore. So at 36, I wanted to get into coaching, but I also had young kids. I wanted to be able to coach and see my son play. I wanted to be on the flag football staff. I wanted to coach T-ball. I wanted to do all that. So I made a decision. I really didn't want to coach until he got to the high school level, because I coached several kids. Their dads were coaches under Urban Meyer. Jackson White was my quarterback at Buchholz, ended up going to Marshall. Chris Rump, the big defensive end, his dad was a coach. Those guys only got to see their kids play, buddy, maybe once or twice the entire year because they're on the road recruiting or traveling or whatever. Yeah. I made a decision. I was going to watch my kid play every game, and I was fortunate enough to be able to coach him. So I kind of screwed myself in the long run when it comes to coaching, because once my kid graduated, I was 48 years old. Yeah, it's too late. Now Kerwin gave me an opportunity to go coach with him, but at age 51, the money they make at Western Carolina, I put the pros and cons, and plus there's a 51-year-old guy who hadn't really done it, really want to go out on the road recruiting 17-year-old. Yeah. So long story short, if you don't get a chance, if you don't play ball professionally, there's plenty of guys out there that start as graduate assistant volunteers or whatever and work their way up. That's how it goes. And
interesting, yeah. And just a quick note is you talk about Coach Spurrier almost didn't get hired. He was sitting in the stands watching games, and Doug Dickey was the coach, and he thought, maybe I can do this. He was at that point, what was he then, 37 or 30? After
his pro, because I think he played 10 years professionally,
11, so about 34 or 5 right in there, and he came in and the next year. And for 1 year. And then it's funny, he talked about his first recruiting trip to South Florida, where he went and saw a guy down there, and Red Anderson was the coach. And so without knowing it, Steve broke 4 recruiting violations on his first trip. They came back filling out his receipts, and they said, "What's that for?" Well, I bought him a hamburger, violation. Well, I gave him a ride, violation. I went to the school, violation. It's all happened to Spurrier on his first recruiting trip. So he almost didn't get hired, and then he had a hard time. If it wasn't for the USFL, who knows what would have happened. So it takes, you never know. I mean, every coach has a tough road. Urban Meyer didn't get it thrown. He wasn't gifted to him. He had to go coach at Illinois State, for crying out loud.
Yeah, you usually have to start somewhere small. I mean, I had Jed Fish, who's now the head coach at Arizona.
Yeah.
Been in the NFL for a long time as an assistant. But he told his story. He'd never played football in his life. He played tennis up in New Jersey, came to school at the University of Florida. His roommate ended up being who's the general manager for the Howie Roseman, I think's his name. They were roommates at Florida together, but he kept leaving notes on Coach Spurrier's windshield about how he just wanted to meet because he wanted to get into coaching. And he left hundreds of notes, and eventually Coach Spurrier let him be a volunteer. And now the damn guy's the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats.
That's a great story. So it takes you got to hang in there, don't you?
Yeah, it's a rough business. It depends on who you're working for. Coach Spurrier is a guy who likes to get his work done and then go enjoy life.
Yeah.
Whether that's go to your families, go play golf, whatever it is. Yeah. And then you have the staffs that stay there till 3:00 in the morning because they feel like they have to because they're going to be outworked by another staff, which to me, I have never understood at all.
Yeah.
I've never understood that one bit. Once you're done, you can only watch so much tape. You can only draw up so many plays, Makes no sense.
Yeah, for sure. Who's the best guy that you know that's not coaching right now? That if you were we're going to give a guy a break and say, I want to hire this guy nobody knows as a head coach, who would you hire? You?
Me?
No, I would agree with that.
Yeah. No, I love drawing up plays and calling plays. There's nothing better than it. And
you need to be doing that, Shane.
Well, it's too late. It's too late in life,
buddy. Volunteer is not drawing up plays and stuff. It's never too late. Look at me.
I still
I'm
volunteer.
100 years old. Don't tell me it's too late.
I still volunteer, but there's a knack. Here's the thing, buddy. You and I could sit down for 2 months, and I could really teach you X's and O's and why you do this and why you do that against coverages and stuff. You may know it just as well as I do, but you know what makes good coaches?
Yeah, we know when to call it.
Knowing when to call it and how to teach it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there's so many coaches out there. Here's the thing. Nick Saban doesn't know any more X's and O's than I do, but he can get it done with his players.
His organization is really good.
Yeah, but I maybe didn't explain that very well. But my point is, nobody has these special plays.
Yeah,
it's knowing when to call them and how to coach it.
Right. Understand. I'm going to coach you up just a second real quick. Don't forget, you don't know anything about this. I'm going to teach you this name, image, likeness deal, which you don't have any idea. Listen to this, though. It can work for you. And real quick, we'll talk about this later. Florida has a good thing going because the media in Florida is pretty high profile. If you played there, there's a lot. Used to be like 14 papers that covered them every day. Still, it's a media center. This is from Zach Albaverdi, who I have on tomorrow night. Name, image, likeness. There's a guy on him who is a pretty doggone good player. His name is Evan Stewart, 5-star receiver. Okay, he likes Florida because of the followers he brings to what he calls Julio Island, okay? For name, image, likeness, he already has his own logo. He says, at first it was a big thing, but now it's a big thing. Name, image, and likeness can work for you if the University of Florida. Whatever advantage you can get, Shane, you got to get it.
I agree, but it's going to cause issues, buddy.
Of course, but it's here.
I think the guy's name is Vandergriff or Vandergroff. He's a top-notch quarterback who's he's either at Georgia, right? He's at Georgia already. He's already signed some deals with some businesses in Atlanta, and he ain't taking a snap for Georgia and may not take a snap for Georgia. My point is, I don't like it at all, buddy, because think about it. Me and you, buddy, are wideouts, okay? Let's just use Florida since we're Gator fans. All right, buddy, I catch 7 balls for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns in the big win over Alabama. Well, buddy, you're the starting X receiver. You didn't catch a damn ball. We didn't throw it to you. Well, the Oaks Mall wants to pay me $10,000 the day after the Alabama game to sign autographs because I caught all those balls. You didn't catch a ball. You ain't getting paid. You're going to get pissed off, and it's going to cause problems in the locker room. I'm telling you.
All right, I'm not arguing with you, but I'm telling you, it's here. It's no choice.
I know it's here.
Now let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of how it can work. Taylor Wall got called up from Durham. There are better players in Durham than him, and he knows it. He said it. Those guys there, and yet the day he got called up, the team rallied around him in Durham and cheered and lifted him up and cheered for him. Wanted him to get a breakthrough, which he got. Everybody that plays for the Rays doesn't make the same amount of money, okay? They all make different amounts.
But they're making money. That's my point.
I get it. And by the way, the kids are getting a scholarship too. I get that. Look, don't ask me to justify this because I didn't bring it. It's here. Now, what are you going to do about it? That's the question. You're not about what's right or wrong. That ship has sailed. It's a question, how can you turn it into an advantage? And I just gave you one right there. There's a way where it can work for you.
Right, but whoever that kid is, you just said was a 5-star. There's no guarantee that if he does come here, that some car dealer is going to pay him $50,000.
Well, of course not. That's on his own. That's not the school's problem.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
His problem.
Joseph says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Meldon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. The linemen are going to get screwed with the NIL, and they are the most important.
I've heard all that.
Well, I'm telling you, I've been in too many locker rooms in my day.
It's a different day.
Even when guys are making millions of dollars, I have seen guys get pissed off when they're not getting the football and not scoring and whatever.
I know.
And
I
now
get it.
You bring it to the collegiate level.
It's already here. It's already there. And here's the other
I know
thing.
it's here, and it's going. I'm telling you, it's going to be a nightmare.
Well, is it going to be a nightmare that somebody's got a $50 billion facility and you don't have one? And the unfair advantage of having money and that, you build those facilities are fantastic. Do you think it's a waste of time and money? Yes, you do. Do I? Yes, I do. All these exorbitant facilities.
Oh, no.
Wait.
That's two different scenarios here. But
I'm pointing, it's just as ridiculous to spend $1 billion on a facility with a recording studio and whatever else you wanted as it is to say, give a chance to make a buck. It's not a fair world. I'm not defending this. I don't like it. I wish it wasn't here. But here's what I'm trying.
Yeah, and I know that. But here's what I'm trying to say. In a facility, if you don't have a facility,
I get it.
You're not on an even playing field. And we have not been on an even playing field for the last 15 years. Once we move into there, we will be. But I'm telling you right now, there's schools that have way more money than we do to offer individuals to come play here. Way more money than we do. So that's my point. Just because these 5-stars think they're going to come here and make all this money, I'm telling you, them folks in Tuscaloosa and Austin, Texas, and Southern California, and up in South Bend, Indiana, they got way more money than we do. Way more money. So I don't know. I just don't agree with it. I agree if they're going to make something, everybody on the team should be getting a piece of the pie. That's just my personal opinion. So,
well, you're not in charge of that, Shane.
And the NCAA ain't in charge of anything, quite honestly. If you got joint pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back that won't go away, you need to check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. Schedule a free consultation at QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. Call them today at QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. A few more minutes with Buddy Martin here. We'll be joined by Brady Ackerman. I'm going to ask Brady what his thoughts on the NIL is. Because Brady was one of those guys. I mean, he was a walk-on. He wouldn't have got $1. Maybe Balls or somebody, one of the Purple Porpoise, would have thrown him a couple $100 here or there.
Well, that's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, Jeff says here on Facebook Live, the linemen won't get screwed. Boosters will pretend that they have advertising value just as a way to pay them to come to their
point.
School. Here's the thing, though, buddy. There's 85 scholarship players.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's going to be getting any money. I'm telling y'all. And nobody's going to give the left guard any money. I promise you that.
And look, there's a reason smart quarterbacks at the level of the NFL, and John Elway did this all the time, and you did too, probably, take their linemen to dinner, and give them expensive presents for Christmas because they're sharing the wealth. If you're smart and you're a quarterback, you'll find a way to share it.
I guess, but again, we're talking professional sports where those linemen are already making hundreds of thousands of dollars.
What's the difference?
Talking about a guy who has his scholarship, he's still eating in the dining hall. What is Kyle Trask or Emory Jones going to take them to Sonny's All You Can Eat? They're not going to give a damn about that if the quarterback's making $30,000. I'm just telling you. I do.
Where would you take them? Mark?
I don't know what I would do because I don't like the way. I mean, put it this way: the quarterback is going to make the most money. It's that simple. But I don't think that's right at collegiate sports. I just don't, because it's not professional sports.
Well, you got a show campaign against it.
Okay, here we go. Jeff says, pay each of the top 5 high school offensive linemen $200,000 each to sit on a billboard outside a car dealership, and you are a national title contender. We ain't going to pay. That would be $1 million. We're not going to be able to do that. I'm telling people. First of all, I don't think the kids are going to get as much money as they think. So Cliff says Emmitt Smith used to buy the lineman every running back and quarterback buys their offensive lineman gifts in the NFL. But it's not new. It's not a new thing.
Not a new
thing. Collegiate sports. So anyway, buddy, are you heading to I want to give a shout out here to our good friend Jeffrey Melton at Melton Law.
Yeah.
They're going to have their grand opening down in Ocala tomorrow.
Sure, I'll be right
from
there.
4:30 to 7.
Yep.
And if you're interested, they're going to be giving away a bunch of stuff. And some dude named Steve Spurrier is going to be there, probably signing autographs, shaking hands, and kissing babies. So if you're interested in that, Melton Law's grand opening in Ocala, it's at 1326 South Pine Avenue from 4:30 to 7. Like I said, they're going to be giving stuff away. They're going to have live music, food, and drinks. And
Pine Avenue, right there across from Avenue Hospital. I'll be there helping cut the ribbons, Shane.
Awesome. Good stuff. Buddy, before I let you go, we got to get our golf picks. The U.S. Open out at Torrey Pines is this weekend. Who is Buddy Martin picking to win?
I'm real conflicted here. You need to help me with this a little bit, all right? I just got this feeling about Koepka that he's going to come back strong, and he's really played on a bad wheel all year long, and I really like him as a player. Jordan Spieth, my wife demands I put him in every pick I do. But I got two guys I'm really can't get my third guy. One of them is Hideki Matsuyama, who's been playing some great golf this year. But the guy I feel like they owe one? Jon Rahm. After what he went through with that terrible experience he had at Memorial, taking off the course because he'd been exposed. So can I pick 4 or do I have to pick 3?
You can pick 4.
All right, Koepka, Rahm, Spieth, and then Matsuyama.
I like them. There's some good picks. I'm going to pick 3. You have my man Brooks Koepka, and obviously Xander Schauffele and Colin Morikawa are my 3 picks.
How would you have done if you put $100 on Schauffele every tournament?
Oh, you would win. Well, I don't know if they pay you out depending on where they play. I don't think it's like horse racing.
Right.
I could be wrong, but I do know he's either been in the top 5 or the top 10 of every major he's ever played in, which is pretty damn phenomenal. Yeah,
we used to have a golf league, and we did that, and you got paid. You picked 2 guys, and they depending on what their scores were, and I had the horse just like you did. The guy never won, but he was always in the money. And Schauffele would be that guy. I mean, if he had the top 10 finishes. But yeah, well, good luck. I'm going to beat you again this week, like I do every week. But what the heck?
Yep. You might do that. Well, buddy, have a good weekend, my man. Enjoy the golf. Enjoy Father's Day and all that good stuff.
Happy Father's Day to you too, Shane. And by the way, go Rays.
Go Rays. That's Buddy Martin. Join us on the Titan MRI. Real quick before we let you go, who you got on the show tonight?
Well, tonight's double coverage with Cassidy Hill and Jackie Frangilli. Tomorrow night, Zach Oliverti.
Okay. Good stuff, buddy. That's the Buddy Martin Show. You can check it out on Facebook Live Monday through Friday about 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to take our first time out of the program. When we come back, we'll be joined by the head football coach of the Bellevue Rattlers and former sideline reporter, Brady Ackerman. You're watching and listening to Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, non-surgical regeneration, live pain-free. South State Bank, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker, MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Wrap Spot, Okido America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Meadowbrook Golf Course, Silverback Concrete Company. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit podupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
We're looking for all type of restaurant people, managers, servers, bartenders, hosts, cooks, dishwashers, bussers. If you think you're good in the restaurant business, then give us a call.
Spurrier's Gridiron Grill job fair is open now. All you have to do is go to spurriersdraft.com and fill out an application.
We're looking for the good team members, and we're looking for people with a wonderful attitude that can make Spurrier's Gridiron Grill the best we can possibly be. To apply, go to spurriersdraft.com.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studio. Celebration points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Regal Cinemas, Dave & Buster's, Nike, Le Macaron French Pastries, Kilwins, and coming summer of 2021, the HBC's new restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill and Visors Tailgate and Rooftop Bar. We will see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. We're now going to go to the Titan MR hotline, and we're going to head down to where he is hoping that the Rattlers are doing a lot of celebrating in the end zone. Coach Brady Ackerman. Good morning, Ack. How are you, my man?
I'm doing great. We got 40-something guys in the weight room this morning, and another 25 freshmen or so forth will be here at 9:30. So summer's off and going. Just got to dodge the raindrops. I'm not sure how it is in Gainesville, but it was coming down in Bellevue this morning.
Yeah, before we get into just talking about your team and what you got going on with the little golf tournament coming up, you're a huge Phoenix Suns fan, and y'all are now already advanced to the Western Conference Finals. First of all, how in the hell did you become a Suns fan?
When I was a kid, my dad went to Clemson, and Phoenix drafted Larry Nance. And, of course, Walter Davis played there. He was from North Carolina. So growing up in the Carolinas, ACC basketball was a big deal. And so when Larry Nance, my favorite Clemson basketball player, became a Phoenix Sun, I became a Suns fan. I liked their uniforms, the purple and they were the orange. And I go back to the days, Walter Davis, Paul Westphal, on through the Tommy Chambers era, as you remember in college, and Kevin Johnson, and then, of course, Barkley and Nash and Stoudemire. I got an autographed Amari Stoudemire jersey. I've been told if you're over 50, you're not allowed to wear a jersey, but I might wear it in my apartment for game one of the Western Conference Finals.
Brady, we got a Facebook Live comment here brought to you by Meldon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Rick says, Brady, the greatest one TD running back to ever play as a Gator.
Absolutely. It just, I would have scored from 90 had we thrown the wheel route off the 2-yard line. I was, great concentration coming out of the backfield, did not, let the ball get down and caught it and ran to the back of the end zone and high-fived some girl I've never seen before.
So Brady, you became the head coach, and we had you on, I think, the day after you became the head coach at Bellevue. You had your first spring. Let everybody know how spring ball went.
I think it went really well. As you know, Shane, having been a head coach, it's a lot more work than people really know to be a high school coach. Way more work than even when I was a recruiting coordinator at Jackson State. But we were able to get some things implemented in the spring, and I thought we had a good spring. We got a lot with 60 kids out. Some teams didn't have 20 out, in the spring and couldn't have a spring game. But the interest is there. We had to start with fundamentals, and you've seen us practice, Shane. We got a ways to go, but I think we got the base of what we want to do in. They have a spring game, which doesn't mean anything, the outcome, but I like the way our kids competed and played, and especially on the defensive side. So we're really excited. I mean, everybody's excited this time of the year, but I think we're a little ahead of schedule from when I took the job, what I thought we would be to right now. So I'm pretty excited and optimistic about the upcoming season.
I know you have a big golf tournament coming up to help raise money because if people aren't aware, high school sports, pretty much every program is responsible for raising dollars to run that program. Where's your golf tournament going to be held? And if anybody's interested, how do they get information on it?
Well, if you still want to get a team in, they can email me, BradyAck@gmail.com. It's Monday after Father's Day, this coming up Monday at the Country Club of Ocala. We're teeing it up at 9 a.m. It is scramble. We've got all kinds of great hole prizes and raffle prizes, as well as, we got a couple of helmets that we're going to auction off. One signed by Devonta Smith from Alabama, Heisman Trophy winner, who signed that for us. Coach Spurrier, and a Gator helmet. And then Coach Meyer signed a Jaguar helmet for us. So it's going to be exciting. And, you know how golf tournaments are, Shane. It's sometimes it doesn't work on a Monday. Sometimes it does. But we've had a good turnout. We're going to make some money for the program. We need new equipment, new uniforms. We needed everything. This is a program, if people remember, because we had such an exciting spring. Everybody's excited, Shane, but we won one game in 3 years. And when I got here, we had no uniforms, no equipment, no footballs. We didn't have anything. So we've been just trying to raise money to get the necessities to have a decent program. And then, of course, the rest of it's going to take care of itself in the weight room in the next couple of years as we develop our schemes and our systems.
At Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. Speaking with Coach Brady Ackerman, the head ball coach of the Bellevue Rattlers, former Gators sideline reporter. Brady, so what are your thoughts about the new proposal for the 12-team playoff in college football? You like it?
Yeah, I saw it. I'm not sure the first couple of years if it's still not going to be the same teams. But here's the thing that I like about it. Because of the way they're making, like, let's say Alabama's got to bye and they got to play the winner of, I don't know, Oregon and Wisconsin. Well, the advantage usually in the playoff, you have a month to get ready for the first game. And then the second game, you kind of got to turn it around like a regular game. And they still even give you 10 days. I think that where you're going to get upsets is in that first week after the first couple of years, because I think it's going to be hard for as well as Alabama's staff to be prepared completely for both teams when they only have 1 week. So I think if you play those teams on the campuses, Oregon comes out of there, I think you'll see an upset. And I think that's what the playoff needs is a couple of upsets here and there to just kind of get the interest around the country. I think it'll be good. And I wouldn't be surprised if probably year 2 or 3 that we saw one of the big 4 go down in the first round of the playoffs.
Let me get your thoughts on the name, image, and likeness.
Name, image, and likeness. You're talking about players?
I'm talking about, they passed it where kids can get paid money now.
Right.
We can put, the third string running back, you could have, Purple Porpoise could have paid Brady Ackerman $3,000 a week to make an appearance after the games. I mean, do you like this for college sports?
Well, as long as it's fair,
how's it going to be fair though? That's my point.
Yeah. Well, again, there is no right way to pay the players because then you're going to bring in Title IX constraints and all that. I think the image and likeness gives you a chance to market yourself. And of course, I was the guy that got everybody into Purple Porpoise with a free cover back in college. So either them or Balls certainly would have sponsored me to be there because I brought all you guys there. But having been at the college level the last 3 years, man, there's got to be a way to supplement these kids' income. Now, the Pell Grant is there for the guys that don't have it. They had the enhanced scholarship, which started right before I went to Jackson State, where, full cost of tuition, a scholarship maybe at Mississippi State could be worth more than one at Ole Miss. Just depends on how it works. But I think there needs to be a way the kids get paid. I used to not believe that in sports radio. I thought scholarship was enough, but I got guys, at our level, which I know that's not Division I level, but they don't get the steak salads at 9 o'clock like the Gators in Alabama do. But, they don't have, when that cafeteria closes at 7, they don't get to eat again until the next day. And then a lot of them don't have money to go eat. So and clothes and stuff. I think there's got to be a way. I'm not smart enough to figure it out, Shane. I leave it to you talk show hosts to do that. But I think the problem you have is, should I pay Shane Matthews the same thing I pay Brady Ackerman? Of course not, because you're a starter and an All-American, and I'm just out there catching wheel routes for touchdowns. But do you pay Shane Matthews the same as you pay the gymnast, who just won a national championship? Probably. I don't know how they can figure it out, but there needs to be some sort of a way that you get at least some sort of a stipend. If you and I go to work for Marriott and we travel, we're selling, we're going to have our $75 a day per diem and then our room taken care of. Well, if they could just do a per diem, that is fair for all student athletes, I think they should do that. I think all athletes should be paid the same, even though I think you probably brought more money into the program than I did, Shane. But, I think you got to be fair,
I agree 100% with you when I do think they need some type of money, because back in our day, before they had the the price of attendance or whatever they call it now? Cost of attendance. You get tired of eating in the dining hall, so you'd order a pizza from Domino's or whatever. Well, some of our teammates couldn't afford a pizza from Domino's, right, which I agree about all that. My concern is, and I just had I wouldn't say an argument, but Buddy and I had a discussion about it. Brady, you've been in a lot of locker rooms as a coach and as a sideline reporter and as a player. And my example was, okay, you and I both play wide receiver for the Gators. I go and catch 7 balls for 155 yards and 2 touchdowns against Alabama. You're supposed to be the star receiver. You catch nothing. The Oak Small or Davis Chevrolet calls me on after the game. Hey, we want to pay you $25,000 to come sign autographs after that big win and your great performance. You're going to get pissed off.
Yeah,
right.
I should have caught more balls. I'm gonna talk to the quarterback, say he needs to throw it to my way.
Well, my point is, it's going to cause dissension in the locker room. I think I've just seen it too much when a guy's not getting carries. A guy's not getting the balls thrown to him, and if the other person is starting to make his endorsements off of that, I just think it's a can of worms that's going to destroy college football. I hope I'm wrong, but I just see it could be a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm not as strongly opinionated on it as you are, Shane, and obviously I'm not as coached up on it, but I do think that there should have been a way that programs, Louisiana Tech can't pay the guy as much. I mean, the Louisiana Tech wide receiver might catch 10 and go get $500 to go sign autographs.
Right.
And that's, I generally think it's going to be the starters that get the money and the appearances. And I don't really have a problem with it. As long as, there isn't any illegal stuff going on, but I don't even know what's legal and not legal anymore with these colleges. I just think there should have been a way that you could sell a sponsorship, whatever school you're at, to the Chevrolet dealership, and that they give you X amount of dollars and you can pay your players to do appearances, and everybody gets the same thing. Shane, if you're going to speak at the Gator Club, we're going to pay you $500. That's all you get. That's what everybody gets. And they want Shane to speak. So Shane, you go speak at the Gator Club. Here's $500. There's got to be a better way. But, I would hate that it would turn a locker room like that. But I do think that, look at Alabama. Well, Jalen Waddle, I mean, he was probably getting more attention than Devonta before, it all took off. So, I don't know. I think if you have a good culture and a good chemistry in your locker room, you can avoid those things. I think that programs that have issues that are fractured inside the locker room, those issues would probably surface, Shane, if the guy's getting more money than another guy.
Yeah, and the other thing too that I'm concerned about is, and I've used this example. Let's say Kyle Trask had another year this year, had a phenomenal year last year, historical season. He's from the state of Texas, right? What if Jimbo and A&M would have said, you know what, we're going to give you $500,000. You have another year of eligibility to come play for A&M. And the most that he could get here from someone is $300,000.
Oh, well, he probably got more. He probably got more going pro, didn't he?
No, I'm just using him.
Yeah.
As an example, if he couldn't go pro, let's just say he's who can we use, for example? Let's use Anthony Richardson. Has an unbelievable year. He'll be a freshman next year. Even though Emory's going to be the quarterback, let's just use him because he's not old enough, hasn't been on campus long enough to go pro. That's what I'm trying to say. Guys can jump ship now. So I don't know. I do think they need something, but I just think it's going to be out of control, and I hope I'm wrong. But we'll see.
The only other option, Shane, is we go to make it like semi-pro, and they back out the scholarship and make them pay for their own education and give them money. Pay them $100,000 a year. It's all they got to pay their tuition to stay eligible. I don't know how that would work, but
Yeah, I don't either. I have no clue. But it's just I like to get everybody else's opinions on it and stuff. When I say I'm worried about the locker room, I don't think that will happen everywhere, but there's going to be some people that are upset because now we're talking money.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Brady, before we let you go, you got any picks for the U.S. Open this week?
DeChambeau and Koepka, right? That's who we're picking.
Wouldn't that be great if they pair them together?
I'd love it. They're supposed to announce it today, aren't they? The pairings, but if nothing else,
today or tomorrow, yeah.
If nothing else, then maybe we'll see them in the final round. But yeah, no, it's been a great year for golf, hasn't it? I mean, just an amazing year. I'm going one of those two guys. I think one of those two guys is going to win it.
Well, I'd rather see Koepka than DeChambeau. I'm not a DeChambeau guy. Brady, we got a text here before you let you go. It comes from Jimmy. Jimmy says, Brady, what was one thing that stood out in your mind when you were the sideline reporter for the Gators? I guess he's talking about one moment.
Man, we had a lot of them. I mean, you think about it, we had a kick at Tennessee. I can't remember who kicked it. Muschamp won that one. Obviously, the Tyree Cleveland, the Will Greer to Callaway, because there's no way that should have happened. I mean, the Franks to Tyree Cleveland, I mean, that's more doable just because of Felipe's arm. But to throw a curl route in Callaway to spin out of it and go for a touchdown, that. And then my favorite moment as a sideline reporter was when we beat LSU at their ballpark, when they were telling us we were dodging them. Florida doesn't dodge anybody. And it ends up the running back goes the wrong way. And he had bad karma, as we find out, because they were covering up some stuff for him, guys. And we stuffed him on the 1 yard line. And I was celebrating with the team in the locker room. I was a bad sideline host that day. I was excited, man. It's always great to beat LSU, and that was probably my favorite moment.
That's funny. Back up to you, Mick. Isn't that what you said? Back up.
Well, when Muschamp yelled at me that one time, he wasn't yelling at me, but he's mad with the officials in South Carolina. And we're winning the game like 21-0, but he's like going Muschamp on me. We got to overcome the adversity on the field, overcome the adversity. And you just asked a second question. I said, I don't think there's a need for a follow-up. Back up to you, Mick. He goes, okay. I miss those guys, man. Mick and Lee and Cardozo and Steve Egan, man. And we had a blast. I love working with those guys. Great people.
Yep, there's no question about that. Before we let you go, get your thoughts on the Florida football program. Obviously, it started out really well last year in the season, 8-4. Got a lot of new players we're going to see. But Alabama comes to the Swamp. We got to beat Georgia. Just your thoughts on the upcoming season.
Well, I mean, it could have been it went from being what could have been a great year, a championship type year, to, kind of a dud because of the bowl game and nobody really played in it. Disappointed in the defense. I'm a Todd Grantham guy. I think he's a great coach. I think I know too many people that think the world of him. And so I knew there had to be some issues in that coaching staff room that weren't getting fixed. And I think he'll get it fixed this year. So I've never seen a Gator defense like that ever. So I think that's where they got to get it fixed. And I'm excited to go up there. I'm taking the kids up there on the 23rd, go compete in the indoor at the 7-on-7. I don't know how we do, because I had to call Kiwan and say, what are the rules? I'm a football coach, not a 7-on-7 coach. I don't even know the rules for it. So, but my kids want to go, and I look forward to seeing Coach Mullen and the staff up there, Brian Johnson, who recruits our area. I think they're going to be good. I mean, Coach Mullen's a good coach, man. I think he's doing the right things. And I'm excited for the football facility that you and I were telling people for years needed to be built. Years we were telling them, Shane.
Yep, it's finally going to happen about another year or so. But it's something that we have needed for a long, long time. I got a text here. I keep telling I'm going to let you go, but it's from Leroy. Leroy says, Brady, what kind of offense will you run at Bellevue?
Air raid. We're going to throw it. Funny story. The air raid is, we throw it 70% of the time. But we also, if people don't understand, a lot of our quick game and screens are like extended runs. So it's not like a high, we're not going to throw it 40 times a game, 20 yards down the field. We're going to be very good at what we do. It's the same offense that they run at Mississippi State. But when I talked to Coach Spurrier last week, he's like, Brady, he goes, what, you're going to run the air raid like Mummy and Leach? I said, yeah. He goes, oh, you better run the ball. They got to run the ball. I don't understand why they don't run the ball. They don't like to run the ball. I go, Coach Spurrier is telling me, the guy who invented the passing game basically in college football in the SEC, to run the ball. I said, Coach, well, we did run it pretty good in the spring. We'll run it a little bit. We'll run it. If they give us a light box, we'll run it. But we're going to throw the ball, and we're looking forward to breaking some records here down the road.
Yeah, well, he's I guess he's thinking about Leach's offense last year with Bubba being there. They didn't run it that often. Speaking of Leach, he's kind of the guy that you learned under. You're a good friend of his. How do you think Mississippi State will be this year?
I think it'll be better this year. He's got some really good quarterback competition in the spring. But I was there a lot last year because of COVID. Before I was let go, we weren't allowed to go to campus. So I'd go watch Mississippi State practice. And I think they had to get some more cats at receiver. They had a bunch of tall guys that couldn't play the ball in the air. But I think he went out, Bubba and them, they got some really good recruits coming in at receiver. And you know what? You have to respect Leach because he's going to do it his way. He lost some guys along the way. People were questioning whether he should be hired. They finished strong. Everybody that's in that program now is all in. Everybody wasn't all in. That's a tough deal when you take over a program and your best player isn't really for you. But Leach never threw the best player under the bus. He handled it the right way. And I think he's going to see some success this year. I really do.
And before we let you go, let everybody know once again how they can get in touch if they want to play in your golf tournament or make a donation to the Bellevue football program.
Just email me, BradyAck@gmail.com. I'll get back to you. And you can always find us on Twitter if you want to do that, if you're a Twitter guy at Brady Ack. But anybody wants to play, I'd love to have you. And we appreciate the support. We do have. Bellevue's a special place. And now I just got to give them a good football team to be excited about.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. Good luck to the Rattlers. We'll talk to you before the season kicks off. But we'll see you at the golf tournament. Appreciate your time, Brady.
All right. Thank you, Shane. See you guys.
All right. That's Brady Ackerman, the head coach of the Bellevue Rattlers. Join us on the Titan MRI hotline. Going to take our final time out of the program, come back, wrap up this Tuesday edition.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, non-surgical regeneration, live pain-free. South State Bank, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Big Mills Cheesesteaks, MB Listing, Cornerstone Financial, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Chick-fil-A on Archer Road, Avra and Smith, Dowling Signs, Chomp Carter Apparel, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
We're looking for all type of restaurant people, managers, servers, bartenders, hosts, cooks, dishwashers, bussers. If you think you're good in the restaurant business, then give us a call.
Spurrier's Gridiron Grill job fair is open now. All you have to do is go to spurriersdraft.com and fill out an application.
We're looking for the good team members, and we're looking for people with a wonderful attitude that can make Spurrier's Gridiron Grill the best we can possibly be. To apply, go to spurriersdraft.com.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studio. Center State Bank is now South State Bank, but we still put business first. We understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. South State still has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. South State Bank, banking forward, member FDIC. I want to thank good old Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show for joining our program, and also the head football coach, Brady Ackerman of the Bellevue Rattlers. If you're interested in playing his golf tournament, beautiful golf course, Country Club of Ocala. It's Monday the 21st. John says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Meldon Law. Shane, speaking of Spurrier running the ball, it seems when he was younger at UF, like when you were the QB, his first play of the game was 95% of pass. Is that your memory? I think you may be right, John. Yeah, we used to come out slinging. You know, his philosophy was to kind of come out throwing early in games, get a big lead, and then work the clock running the football. So that's kind of what he did. Speaking of the head ball coach, he's going to be at the Meldon Law grand opening celebration there in Ocala tomorrow. That's Wednesday, June 16th. The address is 1326 South Pine Avenue from 4:30 to 7. They're going to be giving away prizes. They're going to have live music, food, and drinks, and the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier himself, will be there. That's Meldon Law opening up their offices in Ocala. Make sure you tell all your friends and family to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, any platform out there. Tomorrow's program, we'll have JC. We're also hoping to have Gary Koch. He'll be covering the U.S. Open. We'll talk a little U.S. Open golf with him. Today's show's a wrap, brought to you by Wrap Spot. Be safe, folks. Take care.
Trying to get the fans fired up. 2nd down and 10. Matthews rolling to his right, in trouble, can't find anyone. Now he throws it for Harrison Houston, who makes the catch. He's in the open field. Harrison to the 20. They're not going to catch him. Touchdown, Gators!